Hey, Steelers fans, let's get into the thick of it, because this week feels like one of those rare moments where everything lines up just right for Pittsburgh. The talk around here has mostly been about the playoffs, and whether this could finally be the year the Steelers shake off that reputation for stumbling when it counts. Now, defining a successful playoff run is trickier than it sounds. Is it just about winning a single game, or is it about proving that you truly belong in the postseason? For the Steelers, the two often haven't coincided. There's been a long stretch of heartbreaks, of seasons where a playoff appearance ended in disappointment, where the team was more often overwhelmed than overachieving. But this year feels different. There's a sense that when Pittsburgh hits the postseason, they could finally demonstrate the quality that the roster and coaching staff have been building toward. It isn't about making it to January and just being there. It's about performing in a way that confirms the team has earned its spot. How the Steelers arrive at that point matters as much as actually being there. Think about the last several playoff exits. How many happened at home? Very few. Jacksonville and the unusual COVID year loss to Cleveland come to mind. But aside from those exceptions, the Steelers have mostly faced elimination on the road. Securing a home field advantage by clinching first place in the AFC North would give them an edge that's almost intangible in value. That momentum, the confidence from finishing the regular season strong and healthy, cannot be overstated. Players entering the playoffs at their best physical condition is ideal, though the NFL schedule rarely allows for perfection. Injuries, fatigue, and the grind of 16 games always loom large, but mitigating risk and managing the roster wisely can make all the difference. Looking at the schedule, there's a strong chance the Steelers will enter the postseason with the division title already secured. This opens up strategic opportunities for Mike Tomlin to rest certain key players without jeopardizing the team's standing. It's about balancing the need to keep starters healthy while maintaining the competitive rhythm and cohesion that has made the team click in December. Rodgers, despite being in peak form these past few weeks, might see some reps limited to reduce risk. Mason Rudolph could get more snaps, and even Will Howard might get a taste of the field, though not as a starter. The goal is to ensure that cornerstone players like TJ Watt, Joey Porter, and the offensive line are fresh and fully ready for the postseason grind, while also keeping the overall team performance consistent. The chemistry and momentum developed over recent weeks are delicate but essential elements that can't simply be put on pause. Communication, trust, and execution need to remain sharp even as the team adjusts who is on the field. In addition, these games offer a rare chance to evaluate the depth of the roster under real conditions. Seeing someone like Will Howard contribute in a limited capacity is valuable, not only for immediate needs, but for assessing potential roles in critical moments. Mason Rudolph must remain sharp and fully in sync with the offense, which is paramount as the season pivots from regular season survival to playoff execution. On the defensive side, it's also a moment to manage recovery for players like TJ Watt, ensuring he's fully healthy and ready to dominate without risking setbacks. Even the secondary can benefit from strategic rest and rotation, keeping players like Cam Hayward and Jalen Ramsey ready for every snap that truly counts. It's a delicate balance, maintaining intensity while mitigating unnecessary risk, and it's something the coaching staff has to navigate with precision. Another dimension of the Steelers' current performance is the individual recognition that sometimes gets overlooked in the broader narrative. Pro Bowl snubs, like the absence of Joey Porter or Zach Frazier, spark frustration among fans, but they also highlight the complexities of evaluating player contributions. Metrics, film study, and careful analysis often reveal discrepancies between actual impact and recognition. The process is influenced by visibility, name recognition, and the attention of coaches and peers who are juggling their own responsibilities. Despite this, performance on the field is what ultimately matters, and the Steelers roster has consistently shown that they are playing at a level that justifies acknowledgement, even if the accolades haven't yet caught up. The focus remains on ensuring that every player understands their role, contributes consistently, and elevates the collective effort. Depth is another key factor as the postseason approaches. The return of players like Brandon Johnson adds flexibility and insurance in critical positions. Johnson's ability to mirror routes run by starters and contribute effectively in practice or limited game situations can be pivotal if unforeseen circumstances arise. Meanwhile, the running game has become a model of balance and efficiency, with Jaylen Warren and Kenny Gainwell sharing responsibilities seamlessly. The organization has managed to cultivate this dual-threat approach without over-reliance on any single back, which preserves stamina and reduces exposure to injury as the schedule intensifies. Similarly, Caleb Johnson's role as a high-volume back has been strategically managed to maximize his effectiveness while integrating him smoothly into the team's overall offensive scheme. Every position, from quarterback to receiver to lineman, is being optimized for the postseason push, which is exactly what a team needs at this stage of the season. Strategically, the Steelers face the challenge of contending with some of the league's most formidable opponents. While Denver, the Patriots, and the Seahawks sit at the top of the standings, the Steelers have the experience, preparation, and resilience to confront these teams without intimidation. Historical playoff matchups often involve daunting opponents, creating a mental hurdle before the game even began. This season, however, Pittsburgh has demonstrated a combination of tactical awareness, individual talent, and collective execution that suggests they can navigate these challenges successfully. On the quarterback front, while Josh Allen may be the class of the AFC, the Steelers' preparation and defensive scheming provide confidence that they can match up effectively and disrupt even elite offenses. The coaching staff's planning and in-game adjustments have been sharpened by the lessons of previous seasons, allowing for more calculated, confident, and flexible execution. Aaron Rodgers' influence has been a recurring point of discussion, both on and off the field. His presence has demanded accountability and excellence, setting a standard that permeates through the locker room. This isn't about performing other people's roles. It's about elevating the entire team's performance. The coaching staff and the roster have responded by improving execution, communication, and cohesion. Players are making the right reads, running correct routes, and executing assignments with a precision that wasn't always present earlier in the season. The evolution from previous games to the current stretch is evident in the results and the fluidity of the offense and defense alike. This improvement is both a reflection of individual growth and effective coaching strategy, resulting in a roster that is hitting its stride at the optimal moment. The offensive line, in particular, has become a case study in the impact of personnel changes and development. Upgrades in protection and run blocking create a ripple effect that benefits the entire team, enhancing the effectiveness of skill players and facilitating a more balanced, potent attack. Wide receivers executing precise routes open the field, creating opportunities for both primary and secondary targets, which in turn keeps defenses off balance and generates scoring potential. On the defensive side, improved play from key contributors stabilizes the front seven and enhances pass rush, coverage, and overall team confidence. These incremental improvements, while sometimes subtle, compound to create a team that is stronger, smarter, and more cohesive than what was seen earlier in the year. Momentum, confidence, depth, and strategic rest are all converging at exactly the right moment for Pittsburgh. The Steelers are entering the postseason with a sense of timing and readiness that has been rare in recent years. Every adjustment, from personnel rotations to tactical decisions to individual growth, positions the team to capitalize on opportunities and mitigate past pitfalls. The integration of younger players, the return of key contributors, and the management of critical veterans all coalesce into a dynamic situation where the Steelers are not just participating. They're competing with legitimacy and ambition. The sense of cohesion, trust, and on-field intelligence has been cultivated intentionally and with great care, providing a foundation for meaningful playoff success. As we look ahead to the final stretch of the regular season, there's a palpable energy surrounding the Steelers that hasn't been felt in a while. The team is at a point where all the pieces are starting to fit together, and it shows not just in the scoreboard, but in the way the players carry themselves on the field. It's more than wins. It's the manner of execution, the body language, the communication, and the confidence that radiates from the locker room onto the turf. Players are anticipating each other's moves. The quarterbacks are reading defenses with sharper clarity, and the defensive front is imposing more pressure, forcing errors that were previously routine for opponents. It's a combination of physical skill and mental preparation that seems to have finally found its rhythm. Even in situations where the Steelers might not have their complete lineup on the field, the depth players are executing at a level that keeps the offense and defense humming, a testament to the coaching staff's ability to develop talent beyond the starters. Looking specifically at the defensive side, T.J. Watt's presence continues to be a game-changer. But the beauty of this team is that it doesn't rely solely on him. The front seven is cohesive, using stunts, blitzes, and gap discipline to create disruption even when one is resting or managing snaps. The secondary has evolved too. Players like Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton, and Y. Black are applying consistent pressure, whether it's in coverage, run support, or by simply creating a presence that quarterbacks must account for on every down. It's the kind of defense that doesn't just react, it dictates. The improvement in individual technique combined with overall game intelligence has allowed the Steelers to turn what used to be vulnerabilities into a more balanced, multidimensional unit. Mistakes are fewer, adjustments are faster, and the communication between linebackers and secondary has reached a level of sophistication that allows for complex schemes to be executed without chaos. The offensive side has similarly matured. Aaron Rodgers has been the catalyst. Yes, but it's not just about him making plays. The offensive line has stabilized in a way that enables both the passing and running game to operate efficiently. Protecting Rodgers while opening lanes for the running backs has allowed the offense to sustain drives and convert in critical situations. Wide receivers are running precise routes, creating separation, and understanding timing, which makes the passing game more lethal and reduces the risk of turnovers. The dual-back system featuring Jaylen Warren and Kenny Gainwell continues to be effective, blending agility, vision, and power to control the tempo and keep defenses guessing. This balance between run and pass ensures the team is not one-dimensional, making it much harder for opposing defenses to scheme against them. Even the integration of Brandon Johnson adds an extra layer of versatility, providing a reliable target who can step in seamlessly if needed, particularly in high-stakes playoff scenarios. One of the most remarkable aspects of the current Steelers roster is the growth of players who weren't expected to carry as much weight earlier in the season. Rookie and second-year players, who might have struggled initially with the speed and complexity of the NFL, are now executing assignments with precision. The coaching staff's ability to develop these players, instill confidence, and integrate them into the system has been a quiet but critical factor in the team's success. These players are not just filling in. They're contributing in meaningful ways, often in high-pressure situations, which adds layers of reliability and depth. This ability to maintain a competitive edge, even when substitutions are necessary, highlights a team that is not merely talented at the top, but fundamentally sound throughout the roster. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comment below. Whispers have begun to circulate around the league suggesting that Aaron Rodgers' time in Pittsburgh may be approaching an unexpected crossroads. While nothing has been made official, sources close to the situation describe a growing sense that the veteran quarterback's future with the Steelers is far from guaranteed. Rodgers, whose arrival was once framed as a stabilizing force for a franchise hungry for offensive identity, now finds himself at the center of speculation that refuses to fade. Those familiar with the Steelers' internal dynamics point to a combination of strategic recalibration and long-term planning as possible drivers behind the rumors. Pittsburgh is known for patience and continuity, yet the NFL is an unforgiving environment where timelines can shift quickly. Rodgers' stature, experience, and commanding presence bring obvious value, but they also demand alignment with the broader vision of the organization. If that alignment begins to blur, even iconic names can become part of difficult conversations. Around the league, rival executives and analysts quietly debate what a potential departure could mean. Some believe Rodgers still has the ability to elevate an offense with his football IQ and precision, making him an attractive option for teams seeking instant credibility under center. Others argue that the Steelers may be weighing the benefits of accelerating a transition, betting on flexibility and future assets rather than relying on a single, high-profile solution. Inside Pittsburgh's fan base, the mood is mixed. Optimism clashes with uncertainty, and every sideline interaction or post-game comment is dissected for hidden meaning. Rodgers, for his part, has maintained a composed public posture, offering little that confirms or denies the swirling talk. That silence, however, has only fueled the rumor mill. For now, the idea of Aaron Rodgers leaving the Steelers remains just that, speculation. Yet in a league where perception often precedes reality, even a rumor can gain momentum. Whether this narrative fades away or grows into a defining storyline of the season will depend on decisions made behind closed doors, where the future of one of football's most recognizable quarterbacks may quietly be taking shape. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.